Good evening, everyone, or morning, afternoon, whenever you're listening to this. I know, again, it's been a little while since I've done a video, but time and time again, I find myself overwhelmed in regular life and working entirely too hard for entirely too little, but that's a different topic for another time. I recently, this week, had noticed some very influential people in my life getting a little discouraged, tired, drained, feeling like there's no hope. There's that they wish that they didn't have to endure the things that we are going through right now. They feel like they wish they had never woken up, had never seen how politics, government, etc. truly works, how things operate behind the scenes. Wish they could, for lack of better terms, stayed in the matrix, been blissful. Maybe they would be actually happier. And it started making me think about something that I often go back to in times of confusion, loss, and feeling lost, I should say, and loss as well. Questioning why I do what I do, whether it's this, work, anything, anything of value. And it's music. I mean, obviously, me being a Christian, of course, going back to the Word of God, and for a lot of times that can sustain you, but sometimes you need something a little bit more, something that God will lead you to, something tangible in this world, which is, for me, music. And often film as well, but more often than not, ever since I was a teenager, it's been music. And I feel like there is this intrinsic meaning behind music, especially certain types of music in the time that we're facing right now. Music has a very powerful effect on people. That's why so many have used it to describe feelings that they can't really put into words, speak in metaphors to describe certain situations, even to spread political messages. And I find myself looking back to a lot of older music in these times, and as you can see by the picture on the screen, that's what I'm going to lead with. I feel like I've shared this before, but I'm going to share it again. But music in general has such power, can give you comfort in times of great pain and loss, can remind you of why you continue to go on. It can remind you of someone or something that was very meaningful to you. It can give you overwhelming courage and vigor and relentlessness and drive when you're about to go on a mission or complete a task, or even down to the most basics, get into some form of competitive sport. It can describe feelings that you're feeling deep inside that you just can't quite convey to someone else, and it gives you that deep connection, that deep meaningful connection to the artist, and it gets you through the day. It gets you through one more day so you can just wake up one more time. It can describe how you feel for someone, whether it's on a conditional love or a romantic love. You can give words that you just can't quite say or put together in a way that's powerful enough, and you can show it to someone and say, this is what you mean to me. It can sometimes make you sad, and sometimes that's what we need. We need to grieve, we need to mourn the loss, and so we put on songs of loss and pain and trouble to kind of let ourselves bleed. There's a very good artist that I listened to who said in one song, "I need music to set me free and to let me bleed." So music has such a powerful effect on people, and what I'm going to focus on now is the music that can give us the resolve, the strength, the willingness to endure, to say it's not over, nothing's over until it's over, until we're gone. Something that will uplift you and those around you to say that we may have lost the battle, but we have not indeed lost the war. And when I say war, I mean war in a metaphorical stance. So that's what I'm going to focus on, to try and lift everyone's spirits, whoever may watch this. Because no matter what, it's not over. Things may be tough now, it may be difficult now, but where we are right now is not where we're going to be forever. The only forever I know is the afterlife. And I pray to God every day that I do enough to honor Him. With that being said, this right here, the first time I saw this image, I really hope YouTube doesn't do anything squirrely with this just because I post this picture. It's all over the internet, people. You can find it on Google. So YouTube, please cut me some slack. I'm not saying that this was good. I'm not saying that this was a just thing. I'm just putting some lyrics to a picture. And this was the first thing I thought of when I saw this image. And whatever you feel about this image, the consensus and the resounding effect of this picture is powerful. Regardless of how you feel, this is a powerful image. And I thought about these lyrics. People can no longer cover their eyes. If this disturbs you, then walk away. You will remember the night you were struck by the sight of 10,000 fists in the air. And, I heard that song. You may know what song it is, but if you don't, just put those lyrics into Google. You'll find it within a fraction of a second. This was the first thing I thought of, and for the first time, those lyrics meant something to me, and that was about having your voice heard, letting people know collectively that this is what we stand for. We're standing up for this, this, and this, and you will not forget this night. And that's exactly what this set of lyrics, this picture, is echoing, in my opinion. Now, next is this song, and this is for those of you who are still in the fight, that are, I'm sure everybody is. I feel like very few of us have given up. We're still in the fight, who know that there's only one more chance we get at this. We're, for lack of better terms, maybe, but this is for those who are wanting to get involved, and there's several ways you can get involved, even all the way down to just researching people in your area who are planning on running for office. Research them, find out where they stand. If you support them, if you agree with them, reach out to them, figure out ways you can help, donate to their campaign, spread the good message that they're spreading to other like-minded people, and maybe even try and talk to some people that may be on the fence, But this whole song, like I of course I proofread a lot of these lyrics that I was thinking of, but this one is just, it's very powerful, and the vocals are very powerful. The music is, these are all powerful songs that I'm showing. These aren't just, softball songs that you hear, like, and like on the mainstream. Like, these are very powerful songs. So if you choose to listen to these, if you're not into some powerful music, you may not enjoy it. You may just like the words. But I mean, all of this pretty much, this whole thing just stems to what we've just been through the last few months, and what it's going to take to move on into the future. As I live and breathe, I'm watching the world die. We greet this with apathy no longer. So right there, it's showing that we're still here, we're alive, we're breathing, but we're watching the world, everything that we've built fall apart. But he's saying that we, all of us, me and you, will greet this event with apathy no longer, which means we will no longer ignore it. We will no longer be, foreign to it. We will no longer look at this and say there's nothing we can do. Consumed by self, we walk through each day with no mind to deprivation and moral decay. All right, if you hear that outside, I apologize. Some jerk is deciding that they want to play some NASCAR out there with their car. Anyway, what they're saying here is they're seeing, and this is very prevalent in our society today, you're seeing each and every day that there's deprivation, degeneracy, moral decay. I mean, we don't have to look too far to see this. I mean, it's been going on for decades. We must, okay, well, for YouTube's sake, I'll just leave that alone. For the sake of all, it starts with one. And of course, it just takes one person to stand up and say, I'm going to do this, who's with me? And of course, it's basically saying, like, we need to rebuild. We need to start over, and we need to rebuild. As I live and breathe, I'm watching. It's basically a repeat of the very opening. They repeat the first verse. Then the chorus is, if we can't break the silence, how can we survive? Search inside yourself and know that you're alive. We must break the silence. Now we are alive, silent no longer. And it's basically, are we going to collectively come together and break this silence, this going through the motions, just going along with what these elites say, telling us that everything is okay, just let us do our job, let us make everything better, even though they haven't done it at all. At least in my lifetime, there was one person, one man who did, and you know who it is. I'll just say he is the persona non grata, number 45. So it's talking about breaking the silence. We must break the silence so that we can announce that we are alive and we are still here and we are ready to make the changes necessary in order to better the community around us, the county around us, the city, the state, the country. It goes on, make this world take notice. The change is in our hands. The battle has just begun. We are not defeated. And I cannot stress that enough. We are not defeated. There's going to be times you can't win every single battle, and it's just begun. Then it goes back into this chorus, and then it goes down into some of the bridges and stuff like that. With all that I am, I will lift my voice to start this revolution. It starts today, and it starts with me. Time is no longer. Now that's pretty cryptic right there. Time is no longer. Meaning what I get out of that is there is no more time. There's no more time to wait. There's no more time to waste. It has to be now. And then he goes on to say, with all I am, I will lift my voice. With all I am, it starts with me. And then it closes out the song with break the silence 3 times, then we are alive. And I can't stress that enough. We're here, we're alive, and we're ready. And so we need to get to work. If we're serious about this and not just sitting around and complaining on the internet and then going to work and acting like everything is normal, it's not. It's far from normal. And the only way things will change is if we push and continue to push this grassroots movement. The American people need to collectively come together at this point. Americans, patriots, people who still believe that this can work. So moving on, same band, and it's actually ironically on the same album. You can kind of get the idea. I mean, this album has a lot of different twists and turns as far as the topic of the message, but overwhelmingly it's about, powerful, uplifting tracks. There are some tracks that the singer did that was more personal, about his own personal struggles, but this one, with conviction, you must stand your ground. Don't be deceived. Strength is salvation. So don't be deceived by, the MSM, the talking heads every single day that we see. Strength is salvation. Strength, all of us, not just strength from, strength within ourselves, yes, but strength in our community. It is so easy to live the life of a follower. That hits the nail on the head right there, and I was just talking about that. We must kill the idols. Now idols, that's very, very interesting there. That goes back, that's like a biblical sense. Like, we must kill the idols. The idols, well, what are idols? Idols are false gods, false deities, things that people pray to and make sacrifices to. Well, that's what we see here in today's day and age, and it's different. Nowadays, it's different. I relate this to a book that I read by Neil Gaiman called American Gods, and premise is that the old gods have all died out and they're very weak. They've either died out or they've faded into obscurity and they're no longer powerful. And the new gods are like the god of the internet, the god of technology, the god of television. It's like these new idols have emerged with the rise of technology, and that's what I see here. Don't fall prey to seduction. I mean, and seduction doesn't necessarily have to mean in a physical, lustful meaning. Like seduction, like in the way of comforts, easy life. Seduction as far as like sitting in front of the television all night, succumbing to, consumerism and stuff like that. With single-mindedness, we must pursue the truth. Now, the Logos, that is exactly the overwhelming message here, is we need to pursue the truth. Nevermore the victim, let them say that we are not of their world. And that's pretty much what's going on right now. What are these people saying? The ones who are in charge right now, the ones who are in power, even their lackeys on the civilian level are saying, we, you and me, us, the ones who still believe, are willing to fight for change, real change, bring back America, make this country as great as it possibly can be. They're the ones trying to oust us from public life, saying we are not of this world. And we're here to say, let them say that, and we're going to push back. Then the chorus is actually this little part here. With the promise of life, we are strong, we will carry on. And that I cannot stress enough. We cannot let ourselves admit defeat and say that we can't do this, that we're weak, we're broken, and we can't go on. No, that is a lie. We are all strong and we will carry on. Then it moves on. Let's see. No more disillusion. Let them say what they will. Their answer to our higher calling is conceived by their hatred. Man, I can't. I'm just going to let that one stick. I'll let you just digest that one. Then it comes back to here. Chorus. Be one for your conviction. Be one for your devotion. You will be hated. For your dedication, you will be hated. And, well, that speaks for itself. Look at where we are now. And then it closes out beautifully with the promise of life. We are strong. We will carry on. And the last one I'll pull up here is really powerful, in my opinion. They're all powerful, but this is a good one that I want to close out with. Endzeit. So, This whole song. Now, this is a really, really intense song, so if you go looking for it, just be ready. um, Nothing, just nothing. Nothing will wipe this heart out, and no one, just no one, will break this front line. We are the fighting ones. We are the final resistance. Now, I said this to someone who was, again, having those thoughts of, we can't, like, thoughts of remembering the blissfulness and staying unaware of what's going on, and kind of longing for just that, but not necessarily longing for it, but just remembering it and saying, like, it was so much easier back then, but I remember saying that, the left likes the champion. Well, what have we heard for the past 4 years? The resistance, we're the resistance. Even though we were like, resistance to what? Like, what exactly are you resisting? Because no one's breaking down your doors and arresting you. Now, ironically, now they want to do that to us. But no, we are the final resistance for this country, for the Constitution, for our founding fathers, for everything that everyone throughout the ages have worked so hard for. I mean, your ancestors, people who built this country, from all walks of life, all races, men, women, and children, everybody has collectively worked together. Imagine your ancestors looking down on you and seeing what you're doing to make this country better. You have the power of your entire genetic history cheering you on. We all come from survivors. We're fighting to the last, driven by your hate, awoken us. No longer we surrender. A storm will break the silence. This storm will break the silence. Again, going back to breaking the silence, driven by your hate, awoken us. Basically, all of your hate through all of the years has finally awoken us. And no longer we surrender. We will not surrender to this. And then it goes back to some of the early one. Nothing, just nothing will wipe this heart out. We are the final resistance. And this vengeance is justice, and justice will be done. Your end is our triumph, and the day will come. A reign of terror, a life of horror. Nothing will remain. A promise to the fallen. We'll make them feel our pain. A promise to the felons. You'll never rise again. A lot to digest there. Basically saying that for so long, you're the ones who have been pushing on us, taking control, ruling over our lives, forcing us to abandon what we hold so sacred to ourselves, and saying that the end is our triumph, your end is our triumph, justice will be done, promise of the felons. And when they say felons, it's interesting that they say that. Felons, basically the criminals, the corrupt. You'll never rise again. It's like, we'll take it back, we'll take it all back. And then they say the same thing, this vengeance is justice, and justice will be done. And then they go back to saying that we are the final resistance. So I wanted to go ahead and just get that out there. I was thinking about this yesterday, and I wanted to get this recording done before I forgot, to be honest. I mean, I come up with, I see things, ideas for videos all the time on a daily basis, and I just never get around to making them. And I wish more than ever that I could make this my full-time job, but I can't. So this is the best I can do, and I don't even know how many subscribers I have on this channel. It's not a lot, it's like 2. But I appreciate everybody who checks out the videos and gets anything from them. So with that, my prayers go out to all of you. Don't give up. Don't get discouraged. Work hard. Find someone that you believe in, or if it's yourself and you're willing to take on that risk, get out there, push on, and build a movement. Get people and trust around you to start with. We all have something we can offer. So don't get discouraged. Pray for strength. Don't pray for an easy life. Pray for the strength to endure a difficult one, and God will give you that strength. So with that, Peace be with you. God bless you. And I will see you all, talk to you all later.